Hello, everyone. Pat Down MMA back with another DWCS breakdown, our last one of week 8, covering the main event, Diyar Nurgozhay versus Bartosz Szewczyk. Hope I got that one right. But we're going to be starting off with Nurgozhay first here. So Diyar Nurgozhay is from Kazakhstan. He has a 9-0 professional record and he stands at 6 feet tall. He fought in promotions like UAE Warriors and Eagle FC, with most of his career being in Eagle FC, which is Khabib's former promotion. And he fought a decent level of competition there, nothing too crazy, but not a bad level of competition by any means. Nurgozhay likes to come out in the southpaw stance and throws a lot of kicks, a lot of leg kicks, a lot of head kicks, and even mixes it up to the body a bit. But his head kicks are really where he shines. He has some very slick and fast head kicks, which carry some big KO power throughout a fight. He also has some decent kicking weapons, has the spinning back kick. He has the front kick. He has a couple different kicks in his arsenal that he likes to whip out from time to time. But he is very low volume overall. He isn't throwing a lot of punches or kicks in general. He's likes to just, throw them out there every once in a while. When he does unleash his hands though, he has quick hands, but the problem is he just never lets his hands go, and you really don't ever see him throw them that much. He does love his left hook though, especially to the body. He likes to throw that left hook up close, up to the body, and it's a very good shot. It's a very solid shot, but he doesn't really have that knockout power in it. And he swings from his hips way too much. I mean, anytime you see him swinging at all, it's from his hips, and it's just very sloppy and just not the best striking technique for sure. On the feet, he also has some slower movement, but he does evade strikes well by moving away from them. So even though he is a bit slower, it's like he can read the shots coming before they're coming. So he's still okay defensively. Nurgozhay also has some very good cage takedowns. He knows how to use his leverage well and work his opponent to the ground on the cage, but in open space, his takedowns aren't the best. He does have some very heavy ground and pound, and he's very active on top. He has a very active top game, and he constantly will batter his opponents from the top position. But he could have some better control. I've seen a couple times where opponents have either reversed him or just slipped out in situations where he should definitely continue to have control. And he has a great hip toss as well on the feet. In the clinch, he kind of just launches the hip toss over. But when he's on the ground, all you're going to see Nurgozhay in is full guard, side control, and on the back. He has no other places that he goes on the ground. And if he's in side control, he's going to be punching and looking for a Kimura. If he's in full guard, he's just going to be laying there. And if he's on the back, he's going to be looking for a choke and punching. So he's very easy to read. If he does get your back, he can finish you, and he does have some pretty good sub defense himself, but he just really lacks finishing ability outside of the first round. All 7 of his finish wins come in the first round, and then his other 2 wins come by decision, and you see that in those fights, he really just lacks the ability to finish those fights later on. Now, moving on to Bartosz Szewczyk. So Bartosz Szewczyk is out of Poland. He's an 8-2-1 record, but he is standing at 6'4" tall. So pretty tall light heavyweight for sure. 6 of his 8 wins come by knockout. So he does have power in his hands, but he also hasn't faced the most impressive level of competition. Similar to Nurgozhay, where neither of these guys have really fought the best level of competition, but it could get a lot worse. But in the time that Szewczyk has fought 6 times, Nurgozhay has fought just once. So Szewczyk is so much more active and has been fighting a lot more as of late. So what Szewczyk likes is to counter punch. He's a good counter puncher. He has some pretty quick hands in the pocket and some pretty good combinations, but he doesn't throw enough. He's very patient, very low volume. He is willing to brawl. He kind of likes to throw hands, but he does have weaker defense. He keeps his hands a bit low, can be caught if he doesn't react fast enough. There are times where his defense isn't the best, but he does want to keep it on the feet and kind of does want to just be able to throw his hands. He is dangerous and unpredictable when he's coming in, and he does use his jab well to manage range. So he does work well from all different ranges in the striking for sure. He has a very good left body kick and a clean and sneaky head kick that he uses effectively throughout fights that, could end a fight at any point. But he does have a very clean right uppercut. He kind of just sneaks that in there, and it's a shot that could end a fight if he finds the right place to land it. But he doesn't deal with high volume well. If guys start to get really high volume on him, it doesn't even have to be with any power. If they just get high volume, volume on him, he'll start to really break down, especially later in fights. So that's something I don't love, but Nurgozhay really doesn't have volume, so it's not something to deal with. Both of these guys are low volume strikers. In the grappling, Szewczyk has amazing takedown defense, but just not the best in scrambles and not the best wrestling in general. If he does end up on top, he can finish a fight if he's on the back with a choke or just with ground and pound, because he does have decent top control, but he just doesn't have the best wrestling and grappling in general. The takedown defense really does shine, though, as one of his best traits. And then Szewczyk does seem to slow down a little bit later in fights, but his cardio in his past couple fights has seemed to be completely fine. So I trust him to have, worked on his cardio a bit to the point where he can go 15 minutes absolutely no problem. So for my prediction for this fight, it's a very interesting fight to say the least, because I think not much will happen on the feet. I think Szewczyk definitely has the advantage on the feet with his boxing. Like I said, Nurgozhay has the good kicks, but Szewczyk's boxing definitely is the better thing that they have on the feet. And then Nurgozhay has the better grappling for sure and the better control. It's just it's really weird because I'm not sure where this fight will take place. I'm not sure if Nurgozhay will be able to get those takedowns. If he gets Szewczyk up against the cage, I could see him getting a couple, but I don't know if he'll be able to finish Szewczyk on the ground in those situations. I think it's either going to be a Nurgozhay first round, second round ground and pound win, or maybe a Szewczyk third round decision win. I could see Nurgozhay winning a decision as well if the fight goes a certain way with his wrestling. So this fight could go a multitude of different ways, but I'm just going to lean with the safe pick because both of these guys are low volume. Szewczyk defends takedowns really well. Nurgozhay doesn't have the best entries apart from on the cage. I'm going to say that Szewczyk outlands him on the feet with his boxing and wins a close but pretty boring decision. I know it's not the prediction we all want for the main event, but I just have a feeling that that's how this fight is going to play out. It's going to play out slow and very low volume. I'd love to be wrong about this fight, seriously, but I don't know. Neither of these guys really impressed me the way I wanted them to going into tape, and I can't say I feel confidently in picking either of them in this fight. I wanted to thank you all for watching episode 21 of my DWCS breakdowns, last one of week 8. Please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe so you can check out my upcoming breakdowns for the rest of the season and for week 9, which will be coming in just a couple days. Hope you guys enjoy the fights tonight, and thank you for watching, everyone.